Tongjimen Hao. And you say Lao Sha Hao. Yeah. And I could see I'm lit up so nobody can hear you, including me. But I know it's there and I can see your mouths move. So that's exciting. So thank you all for that. Before class, some of us were asking about shoes because they were in the second section and we are in the kicking section and we started our first kick. So separation kicks. So I want to talk a little bit about Tai Chi shoes in general. Number one, it's better if it's a flat shoe rather than a heeled shoe. You know how shoes have heels. I mean, there's high heeled shoes. Can you imagine doing Tai Chi? I guess you can. In heeled shoes or heeled boots. We do what we need to do to be able to do our Tai Chi, right? But some running shoes, for example, have almost like a wedged heel that is really, really hard. And if you try spinning on that running shoe, especially ones with lots of support, they could be real problematic because it's hard to spin on a heel and occasionally we do that. In fact, we'll be coming up on one of those in a couple of weeks. So you shouldn't necessarily go. So there's a shoe, probably shouldn't say brand names here, but an old-fashioned tennis shoe, one that you can give a little bit and that has a flat bottom. That would be good. I'm addicted to these shoes. Look at this. Isn't this nice? I can spin here. I can spin here, right? And there's not much of this wedge back here. See, it's a pretty flat shoe and it's not much of a shoe, right? Now, if you need a lot of support, this is not the shoe for you. And if you have inserts or something like that, find a shoe that works with your inserts, but look for a shoe that is flat. This, in other words, it's like I don't know, maybe like a bowling shoe or something that's like, I mean, that probably, that will slip potentially. But an old-fashioned tennis shoe, you know, or a training shoe that's flat, it would be good. So these are Vibram 5-finger shoes. I use them. You've probably seen me. I wear them throughout my life. And the nice thing is I can grab with my toes and I can spin and I can do all sorts of other things. But that's me. And I know lots of people who do Tai Chi successfully and I can give you brand names in various shoes, but just, you know, like a white, true kind of simple tennis shoe like you had as a kid, you know, that kind of shoe. You may want it grabbing you. You don't want to be flopping around in it. Okay, that's the worst thing is a shoe that you never quite feel is on you, right? You really want something that is it's like not having a shoe on if you can, or it just sort of hugs you in a nice way and makes your insert or whatever you have work for you, because you might need that. And I know a lot of people who do Tai Chi successfully who have that. So that's my comment on shoes, and I hope that's helpful. Sue, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
So I was just saying that for me, if the sole is quite thick or hard, it causes me cramp. So really, I would just suggest to go for something like a plimp sole or something that you can move very easily in. So really test the shoes out and see what feels right for you, I think is the most important thing.
I agree. A stiff shoe or a hard shoe doesn't feel right to do Tai Chi, or a shoe that has any sort of heel-ish thing on it. It wants to be flat. And and most Tai Chi shoes are that way, but everybody takes a while to find their shoes. And once they get to the kicks, they start looking for different shoes often. That's the way it is. So I probably should have brought this up sooner. Let's do what we know so far. We're going to do it actually from the beginning of the second section. So let's take cross hands as our prepare. Go through your list, good body shape. What I'd like you to do as you go through this, if you have some extra brain power, I want you to really feel balanced at every moment. I want you to feel your head rising up and your feet, your spine very, very long, and your feet and your spine and your head connected in all the ways they should be connected. Good body shape. And embrace tiger, return to mountain. Roll back. Press. Push. Fist under elbow. Repulse monkey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Diagonal flying. Raise hands and step forward. White crane spreads its wings. Left brush knee and push. Needle to see bottom. Fan through back. We're going to stop here and move. Just take like 2 steps forward. Turn body. Chop with fist. Step up, parry, block, and punch. Step up and grasp the bird's tail. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. Cloud hands. 1, 2, 3. This is our last. Stepping into single whip. High pat on horse. Shifting back, adjusting our hands, stepping, execute. Right separation kick. Shifting back, circling our arms, foot comes in, close step, arms separate. Closing, standing up, looking, kick, adjust arm and leg. And I had meant to do that down, not up, but you have a picture of it doing it down. All right, so before we get to the kicks part, is there anything else folks have questions about or want to go over today? So I'm going to ask you a question, since that seems to be the answer is no. What this week has been the most challenging thing about trying to do these kicks? Might be balance, it might be coordination, it might be the movements, it might be timing. What do you think? What's been the most challenging for you personally?
Balance.
Balance. That was my so what I really wanted to do, it was my thought today. So what I wanted to do was actually break it down and do it a lot lower down. I try to resist my own habits of coming up as much as I could, and let's actually talk about balance a little bit. So let's break it down a little bit before we go too much further, because we've got time. What I'm going to suggest is, let's see, we were kicking with our right leg. So I'm going to suggest, I'm going to turn this way so that if we, for right now, if we just assume we're going to be kicking out to the corner, right? We're going to be kicking out to the corner. And we cross our arms. A couple things I didn't say. Remember, first of all, we were talking about what we do with our arms. So I'm going to come a little closer so you don't have to worry about doing anything else, right? Remember the kicking arms? And we talked about, I didn't actually point out, this is another Queen's wave, like in rollback, where this kind of thing is happening. Just so you know, this kind of thing is happening. So it's not like you're going like this, right? It's this, like a Queen's wave. And in fact, it goes up a little bit, waves, and down. When I do it, I remember chop with fist. I'm not chop with fist. The chop in cross hands, right? There's that moment when you turn and you go out and you're thinking about this part of your hand and you kind of chop. This is not a chop. You're actually probably separating. You're holding on to somebody. I believe it's a grab, okay? But so it's akin in a way to right? We're here, because we're doing on the right, and here. Let's do like this, and here. And when you're fit and your elbows are down, I am challenged by this. So we don't want to do this, right? Watch my elbow. We want to keep your elbow down. So you actually should feel this part here. That'll help back here, back on your back, pulling that elbow down. It's a hard muscle to pull. Anyway, here. And if we were doing it on the other side, which we'll be doing today, we're doing it on the other side. The left hand is in front because you'd be kicking with your left foot, right? Same thing. So up, a little up rainbow, staying just about in the same plane. You can practice this near a door. Obviously, there's some room here, but it's not like you go out like this, right? It's just like this. You know, there's some distortion. Or if we're kicking the other way, right? Like this. You folks are looking good. Okay, now we're going to put it with the feet because we want to get some coordination going. So for now, we're just going to put our foot going straight and we're going to be kicking out. And remember, we were kicking with the top of the foot for this. So what I want you to do is stand. And one of the things we forget to do, we tend to stand like we do normally. You see what I'm standing now? Watch the difference. I'm not going to go like this, right? But I'm going to sink, just let my tailbone, like again, I was about to sit down. So when you get ready to kick, you want to be very straight, very aligned, but you don't want the bottom of your back hanging out, right? You want to be very straight and like you were going to sit in that chair, right? Like that bar stool, like right here. Just you're about ready to sit. And you're here. And we're going to kick out and then come in. And we could just come back in for now. Kick out and come in. And kick out and come in. Kick out and come in. Now, if you're really standing on that other foot, now you can put your foot down for balance if you want. We're going to go over on this side now. You can put your foot down for balance, but what I'd like you to do is try to balance and put it down when you need it. Whoops. We're going to do our left now. And we're going to, remember, first of all, we're just going to kick out and come in. And kick out and come in. And kick out. And I want you to think about kicking with the top of your foot. And then remember, we get ourselves very much balanced. And then kick out and come in. And kick out and come in. Just to get used to. Nice, nice. I know some of you are doing that on, where it's hard to do, right? So you're going to be really tired by the end of the day. Okay, so now we're going to do the real arms on this side, which are to say, we're going to be kicking out, and then we're going to rotate our right arm palm up as we bring it back and bring our left hand by our shoulder. Okay? So we look like this. We look like this. So from here, we're gonna kick and fix our arms. And come back, right arm is in front. You're balanced, always be balanced. Kick, back. One more time. Kick, back. Nice, nice. And then as I see some of you are doing, now, if you're wobbly at all, and it might be today you're wobbly, but another day you're not, I advise doing the kicks that way. I have been known to do them that way on a wobbly day, even long after I had the kicks down, right? There's no point on a wobbly day or a day when you don't have extra strength, right? When you can balance and feel good about it, then as I see some of you doing, then you can go out. You can go up, out, adjust your arms. Up, out, adjust your arms. Or you can go up, out, adjust your arms. Oh, it's better to be balanced and never ever go very high than it is to lose your balance in Tai Chi. So that's where you want to be. Any questions about that? All right, let's review the footwork in general. So for this one, for the first one, we started, if you want to get behind me, you could just look at me and just do it with me. All right, the footwork. We are in an empty step with the left foot. It's a ball touch. We're gonna shift our weight back. When it's off, we're gonna pull it in, you'll let it come to neutral. Then we're gonna step out for this weird bow step, kind of, this transition step, where we're gonna step out a little wider than usual. And instead of stepping straight, let's see if I can get this straight. Yeah, we're gonna step not to the corner, inside the corner. And then heel, ball, toe, bend knee. So we're actually if we do it right, we're shoulder width apart. So when we turn our back foot and get it pointed like railroad tracks, and we come up, we're shoulder width apart. If we were here and we came and we went all the way out and pointed towards the corner, look what would happen to my bow step. Look how close my feet end up. Can you see that? How close they ended up? Really, really close. And you'll see that on yourself. You can also see it here, because you could also just bring this, you could bring this foot back and then, bring them both this way. You see that's not shoulder width apart. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to get this transition step, which will allow us to do things out here to the sides, but basically progressing out this way. So in order to do that, we're kind of zigzagging. In order to do that, we have to step out what feels like wider, because we're thinking this way. Instead of going to the corner, we go here, and it is still a bow step. Then today, and so we come up, shift our weight, and either stand up and kick, or come out, put your foot down if you need to, but then come back, put your foot down if you need to. Yes, Berlin.
So the direction of the left foot inside the corner compared to the right kick is a 45-degree angle. So that means your kick is slightly outside the corner because your other foot is slightly inside the corner. So you're shifting the 45 degrees, you're scooching it over towards the right a little bit.
So I'm gonna see if I can show that. I believe, yes, and possibly no. So you're coming in like this, stepping out, and instead of going like this, right, you're inside the corner, right? And heel, ball, toe, bend knee. When I kick, I come up and my knee points. When I start to come up, my knee points 45 degrees away from my foot direction here, okay? However, if I want to, and if I have the flexibility, because this is a what we call a toe kick, instead of just doing it to the 45, which feels very natural when you've been kicking for a while, you are permitted to go to the corner, which would be opening your leg further in your hip joint. But you are not to like try to go to the side of the room or something like that. This is not a, because you might think that you're, like, and that would lead you to turn sideways. And what Master Yang has said very clearly is that we want to keep our foot pretty much, I mean, it's not going to be completely flat, but pretty flat. We're not going to kick to the side. And, in reality, in a martial situation, you might. Did that answer your question, Erlyn? Maybe not.
So I'm just a little confused because, okay, if your front foot is inside the corner and your right foot kicks at 45 degrees, at 45 degrees it'd be slightly outside the corner. But we're talking about kicking.
Yes, but you can kick further you could kick to this corner.
And that would be slightly less than 5 if you kick to that.
That would be more than 45 that way. Okay, so let's see. If we stood here, okay, and I kicked at 45 degrees, I'd be at this corner. But instead, this foot, instead of going straight, this foot is not going this way, but it's somewhere in between. Because it's somewhere in between, my 45 degrees is not straight ahead of me, but it's also not to this corner over here. It's in between.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And what I'm saying is if you want to aim for the corner, you can aim for the corner as long as that's easy for you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was screwing up my 45s and 90s, so I got it now. Thank you.
It's crazy. It's crazy because it also, we're going in these funky steps, which make our whole perceptions of what we're doing feel different. So that's why I couldn't quite process the question. You were saying it right, but it was, yeah, it's just hard for me too. All right, so the arms. let's go over that a little bit. All right, I'm going to do it with the feet, but feel free, right? Okay, I think you'll be able to see it here, right? So shifting back, remember, we were going to put our arms, we're going to circle our arms, circle our arms, circle our arms. Some things are going to happen when we circle our arms. As we come back, we're circling our arms, right? The left one is going to the left, the right one's going to the right, and they're also just on this turntable. I've taken the weight off of my foot now, and it's come back to neutral. And then at closed step, two things happen. My foot touches the ground in the place we want to plant it for that funky bow step. And do you see this hand? Nice, everybody's got it, nice. Then you're probably at this point, your hand hasn't quite come under your elbow. So it finishes the circle. So does this one, just a little bit. And then they just separate as you bend your knee. These fingers pointing towards the middle forearm. And this hand pushing out. Lovely, lovely. Elbows down. Elbows down. Nice correction. All right. And then turn your torso. Turn your torso away from me. Nice. Cross those arms. Now, you're going to shift your weight. If you are going to stand up, you stand up at this point, but you can just straighten your leg, okay, and not lift your knee yet. Then we're going to do what we did before. Kick to the corner or inside the corner, right? And then as you come back, adjust your hands. Nice, you look fabulous. All right, so we're going to do it again, a little faster. Shifting back, circling our arms. When the weight is off, let your foot drift in and close step. As you go heel, ball, toe, you're finishing that circle and then separating, bend knee. Your gaze is following your right hand. Close your arms by how? Turning your torso to the corner or to the direction of your left foot. Stand up or, straighten your left leg. Kick. Adjust your arms. Any questions about that? Yes, Erlyn.
Sorry, just a quick one. When you're when you're gonna bring your arms together and turn your body, is this arm doing it? Is there an edge here? Is it just turning like this? Well, how's it closing there? Is it just like coming over? There's nothing special going on there? Just like that. Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's not. I mean, in reality, you've grabbed somebody and you're twist. These people are being pretzeled, being grabbed and turned into a pretzel. So you're probably doing something more like this or something in the end. But this is how we do it. This is the stylized version of how we do it. So let's do it 2 more times to practice. Ready? Shifting back, circling our arms, and close step. Whoops, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. I have a hard time talking and doing it at the same time. And shifting back, arms circle. Foot comes in, close step, shifting, separate, following your gaze. I want you to stop here for a minute. Drop your arms. It's a weird bow step, but you know what? I want you to feel the bow step. I want you to feel that this is your front foot. I want you to feel the ground. You're nice and centered, right? I mean, you're nice and connected. You want to be connected to the ground. If you're shoulder width apart, it feels a little weird because your back foot is not where it would normally be, but you're very open. This is a transition step, but you're going to be putting your weight on the left foot shortly. So let's go back again, because that's the hard part, this part with the hands. And circling those arms, taking the weight off, going back. Foot comes into neutral and out, close step, and separate as you're moving forward. Close. Shift your weight. Stand up. Look. Kick. Return. One more time. And there, I want to mention, there's a little tiny turn of your upper body to the right to help your right arms start moving, to get the circle going. So it's a little bit of a turn to the right. Foot comes in, close step, separate, shifting. Close your arms to the corner. Gaze follows that closure. Stand up. Look to where you're kicking. Kick. Change your arms. Now I want you to just, even if you're just standing like this, you should have an extended left leg. What I want you to do is, if you're down, I hope you can see this, is I want you to flex your right foot and sink. And what you're going to do is go into the next footwork. When you do that, you never move your arms. You've already moved your arms are in position. You're sinking, you're stepping, but you don't move your arms. So let's go over the next footwork. So we'll just go over this footwork one more time. Here we were in an empty step. We shifted back, taking the weight off it, pulled that foot in, stepped out, the funky step, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. We stood up. We were very open to this corner, but we're still looking here. We look, and then we kick. Then you're going to bend your knee and you're going to step out. Where? Less than this big corner out here, right? You have a corner out that way. I'm going to step less than corner for the same reason. Here. Then I'm going to stand on this leg. From my right leg, point this knee, whether I'm down or up, 45 degrees here. And then I'm just going to kick to this side. So let's do it in this, do both of those together in this direction. Follow my call with the arms. We're going to shift our weight back, arms are circling. Close, step. Circle finishes and we separate as we bend our knee. Close arms, shift weight, point that knee where you're going to be kicking, look, kick, change your arms, sink, it won't be far for many of you, put your heel on the ground, point your toes less than corner. Now, what your right hand is going to do is it's going to be on the top of that circular stone. And your right hand is going to be on the bottom as you start to go forward. And as soon as you finish the circle enough that your arms are closed, you're going to separate. I'm going to show you this from the front. Nice. Then you're going to do what you did before. Close your arms and your chest sort of to your own personal corner. Stand up, look, and kick. So I'm going to show you this from the front. This one you've done. Right? This is actually starting to look familiar. This is the one you've done. This one is going to be a little shorter. So now we're ready. We're going to put this one on the top of the stone, this one under the stone. But the first thing we do is we sink and we root with this right heel. Where are we pointing the toes? Less than corner. Then as we put our foot flat, move forward, put our foot flat, this big stone, we start to circle or spiral in with these hands. Same thing here. As we get partway there, close, this is coming up, sit this hand. That's right, nice correction. Then as you keep going, get that, finish the circle enough to get this hand under here and separate. So this one happens faster. Then we close, come forward, rise up, look in our kicking direction, and notice that your left hand, which is like your left foot, is on the outside. I just lost my balance. I can't look 3 places at once. There we go. All right, so you want to give that a try? Yes. Okay. All right. Don't worry, we'll be practicing this for a long time. We're going to start from high pat. Always get our practice. Our right hand's on top of the stone, it's circling, and close, step, shifting weight, pointing those toes and separating. A lot happens there. Close our torso, looking through your arms. Nice body position. Stand up. However you're going to stand. Feel balanced. Look. Kick. Change your arms and foot. Sink. Step. Don't move your hands. That heel goes further right than you're used to. Then point your toes as you move, getting ready to move forward, inside what would be your corner. As you move forward, your arms circle, and as soon as you can get that right hand, that bottom of the stone, bottom of the circle hand, under your elbow, you separate. Then close. I realize you're turning away from me. Shift, stand up, look over your knee, kick, and back, but don't change your arms this time. When you're done kicking, your hands should not look like this. They should look like this. Nice, nice. When we're getting our balance and we're worried about it, sometimes this happens, right? You will find that having a little bit of energetic connection all the way from here to here, across your back, all the way out, will help you do it as one thing and will help you stay erect, help you balance. So take that as a tip. We're going to do it from this direction now, because you'll see it differently. And then we'll take more questions. All right. So our first separation kick, shifting back, top of the stone with the right hand, and close step. Hands separate. Turn that torso. Stand up. However, I'm going to not stand up and kick completely now. I'm going to do it the way some of you are doing it. Look. Kick. Change your hands. And Sink. Reach out with your heel. Aim your toes inside the corner. I know this takes a while. And circle as you go forward. This time as you go forward, circle and separate the knee. Remember how I said your elbow will be in line with your bent knee in the front. Check that right now. Make adjustments as needed. Close your torso. Shift weight. Stand up. Kick. Bring in your left foot, but don't change your hands. Nice. Okay, questions? Then what we need is practice, right? Is that what we need? Yeah? Okay, good. Good. I am not going to throw anything else at you. So I want you to think, we're going to practice it a couple of times, that sequence. Then I want you to think of what's the hardest part of that? What would you like the more practice or explanation of? Okay. But you don't have to think while you're doing it. And I will speed up a little to various speeds. Okay, we're going to go back to this direction. From high pat on horse. And shifting back, circling our arms. Close step. Separate. Close. Stand up. Pointing your, opening your crotch and pointing your knee in the direction you're going to go. Look. Kick. Protect your knee as you bend your leg and change your arms. And sink. Heel down. Circling arms as you go forward and separate. Bend knee. Close. It's a good moment to look down, see where that elbow is, still in a good position. And shift your weight. Stand up. Look. Kick. Bend knee. Don't change your arms. And in this direction. Shifting back, circling. Close step. Keep that circle, then separate. Bend knee. Close. Shift. Stand up. Kick. Change arms. Now we're all ready to do the next one. And sit. Down, come down, put your heel down. And as you're moving forward, circle and separate, bend knee. Close, stand up, look, kick, bend knee, don't change your arms. Now, if you really wanted to practice these, you could change your arms right then, and you could just keep doing them on both sides. It'd be a little confusing though. But whenever you see two of the same move in a row in the form, there's an opportunity to be able to do multiple ones to practice, or in reality when you're doing it. So you would have to change your arms. so that you could circle again. All right, what do you think? How's the balance feeling? Right. It will not come overnight. Here are some tricks for balance. Whenever you're doing something like kicking, always be looking. So your gaze matters, number one. So whenever you're balancing, pick a point in the room, have your focus there. You don't want to necessarily be moving your focus unless it's very well practiced. You notice how like figure skaters flip their head so they can come back to when they're spinning, or they used to when they spun a little slower. So I don't know if they still do, but number one. Number two, breathe, relax. When you're kicking, you breathe out. When you're kicking, you breathe out. When you're pushing, you breathe out. When you're kicking, you breathe out. Okay? But we're going to do a relaxed breath. People tend to hold their breath and they tend to get nervous and everything gets up here and the top of them is heavy and the bottom of them is light. What you want to be like is that like punching bag you had as a kid or something that, like, or that roly-poly ball that the babies play with where, it just always keeps coming back up because the bottom is so heavy. You want to be like that. You want your bottom heavy. So when you're kicking, you want to be very straight. You want the top of your head held by, some people say, by the goddess Kuan Yin. You want to be held. And you want to come up. Go ahead, take a nice breath and kick out. Let it go. Relax. 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 Be calm. You will find it makes a huge difference to how your body feels. Nice. Lovely. Lovely. Yes. This integrates you. Another thing I believe is that you can never go wrong by taking a butterfly with you. Okay, so when you're doing this, put a butterfly on your arm and make sure you move your whole body so that butterfly stays with you. It will integrate you. I don't know why it is, but when we have butterflies on our arms, I get a beginning student and their arms are like this. And I say, okay, put a butterfly on your arm, and their arms go like this. It's just amazing. It's like they have a butterfly walking on their arm and they don't want that butterfly to leave. People become like Tai Chi people. So if you're having a bad day, put a butterfly on top of your head or on your arm or wherever you want, and it will do good things. All right, let's do everything we know. And we will do more of this next week. Not everything in the second section. Ready. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Roll back. Press. Push. Is your head up? Fist under elbow. Head up. Feel the shifting of weight. Ah, that butterfly on top of your head, maybe? Repulse monkey. Keep that butterfly on top of your head. Breathe. Diagonal flying. Breathe in, breathe out. Raise hands and step forward. Still got that butterfly? White crane spreads its wings. Left brush knee and push. Needle to see bottom. Fan through back. And we will adjust here. 2 steps forward. Turn body. Chop with fist. Step up. Parry, block, and punch. Feel that butterfly. Step up and grasp the bird's tail. Right ward off. Roll back. Press. Push. Single whip. Cloud hands. 1, 2. Still got that butterfly on top of your head? 3. High pat on horse, taking that butterfly for a ride. Shifting back, stepping in, executing. Right separation kick. Circling, shifting back. And close, step, and separate. Close, turning that torso. Standing up. Take that butterfly with you and kick, breathe out. Change your arms. Sink, step, and circle, separate. Close. Stand up, take that butterfly with you. It likes to be there. Kick. Nice. All right. Any final questions? We are done then. Tolman Jimin Saichen. You say Laoshe Saichen.